The jobs number came out. It's about 3 times what was expected, a little bit less. I wasn't the only person who got a job in May, or a new
I
job at
also got
least.
a job in May.
So here we
It
are.
is live
We're
in
at
action.
200,000 people right there. But what it does though is it kind of gives a little bit of let's say wiggle room for the Fed to raise rates, and I'll explain it this way. We just had a deal with Congress and the president. Both houses of Congress had just passed the debt ceiling expansion, essentially they increase the debt ceiling, which allows with some cuts and all that stuff, but nonetheless, if it had failed and if the government had defaulted, that would have raised interest rates on its own. That's off the table now. Next, we have this high employment number. That's also an indication that, oh, wow, you know what? The economy's heating up. Even though the unemployment rate went up a little bit, we still had a lot more jobs added to the economy. And so now, if you're the Fed, right now, the market thinks 60-40, the Fed doesn't raise rates in 2 weeks. It might change, that probability might change today, but nonetheless, even if that's not the case, even if the next meeting after that they raise rates, and the meeting after that they raise rates, it's still possible that rates will go higher than expected. And what that means is it might take out a little bit of risk from the economy, from the markets, including buying Bitcoin. So it is kind of interesting that crypto kind of did this sell-off, then rally, and now it's just Bitcoin is sort of flat. So we'll see what happens. I think everyone's just kind of having this wait and see movement, but I think it might actually be a big problem, not a big problem, but kind of damper risk for a little bit, because ultimately the Fed's going to have to act.
Lawrence, you talk about that Bitcoin flat line. We just took a look at the charts. Is that something that you expected to see on these numbers?
No, to be honest, when you have such an exciting, but such a surprising jobs number, certainly not that flat. It's certainly not sort of like the market shrugging it off. I think this is. I think maybe they just think the Fed still is intent on pausing its rate hikes, but I think it will leave some room for them to raise rates further in the future, and that maybe the market hasn't quite absorbed that idea yet. We'll see.